Good morning, Guardians. Briar Rabbit here. Destiny 2 is coming, and with its announcement, Bungie has also revealed a season pass that will grant access to 2 DLC packs in the first year of Destiny 2's lifespan. The first, in winter 2017, seems to be an Osiris-themed DLC, and the second, to be released in spring 2018, centered around Rasputin and the War Mines. This is good news for many players who, like me, have been disappointed by the very slow content release schedule Bungie has maintained since the release of The Taken King. But some players are a bit hesitant about this DLC release schedule and the fact that it will have paid DLC. And to be honest, it's not hard to see why. In December of 2014, Bungie released Destiny, followed shortly by The Dark Below on December 9th of the same year. At the time, there was a lot of excitement among the player base for the new content, but it also represented a huge problem for many fans. Just 3 months after the release of the main game, players who didn't buy the new DLC were about to get left behind in very significant ways. The new max light level would be unattainable. The new Crucible playlists would be off limits, and a host of other activities would be restricted in one way or another. Compounding this problem was the fact that many new players would be receiving the game as a Christmas present, only to be greeted by an unpleasant truth. They needed to immediately purchase a DLC pack to play the current version of the game. This was in addition to many players' complaint that vanilla lacked content, and the perception among many that The Dark Below was cut content from the main game and later sold as DLC. Fast forward to 2017 and the release of Destiny 2, and we see a similar pattern emerging. Destiny 2 in September 2017, Osiris DLC in winter 2017. Now, there are different ways to interpret winter 2017. It could mean the winter that starts in 2017, meaning December, January, February, and into March. It could also be more specific, meaning winter 2017, which would put this release in December of 2017. Again, right before the holiday gift-giving session. If they again were to release DLC pre-Christmas, you can certainly understand why. It generates a ton of hype in the community and raises the profile of the game during the Christmas shopping season. More sales for Destiny 2, but the downside is, once again, having unhappy, brand new players who receive the game for Christmas and must immediately buy DLC to have the current version and to join their friends in the activities that are going to be the most relevant at the time. But it's not just the timing that is concerning. The player base of Destiny in year 1 kept getting split up by paid DLC. This, of course, happens after a paid DLC release for any game. The player base gets split into 2 groups, those that have it and those that don't. In PvP games, this can be a real issue. Take Call of Duty, for example. The base game comes out and everybody has the same content and can play together. Then the first map pack is released and the player base is split into 2 groups. Then the second map pack comes out and you have 4 potential groups. Those still play in the base game, those that have the map pack 1 only, those that have map pack 2 only, and those that have both map packs. And obviously, as you release more packs, the groups get divided more and more and more. And that just hurts the experience for every player. After the release of a game, the population is going to shrink anyway. Add to that a system that divides this ever-shrinking player base to smaller and smaller groups, and eventually you run into a situation where fundamental systems like matchmaking just can't work anymore. This happens in Destiny as well. Many players of Destiny cannot buy DLC right when it comes out. They get left behind in a game that actually has less content than when they bought it. Activities like Nightfalls, Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner suddenly become off limits. For some, this will motivate them to buy the DLC. For others, it sends them off to another game entirely, never to return. How many players has Destiny lost because the players couldn't keep up with the DLCs? So why is Bungie doing this? Why take that risk? Money? That's the easy answer for sure. Creating the DLC is expensive. Bungie and Activision are businesses and need to make a profit if they're going to continue making games. I certainly want them to continue making the games I love to play. I want everybody at Bungie to make lots of money. I want them to be the most successful game developers on the planet. But I also want the player base to be happy. In truth, before the announcement of Destiny 2 and the DLC, I was hoping that microtransactions would be able to fund Destiny 2's DLC. Now, I know microtransactions aren't popular, but I think they're more popular than getting left behind because you can't afford a DLC. Maybe have a big expansion every year, but in between those, everything is free to players, and that keeps everybody current with the most up-to-date content. That, unfortunately, seems to be a fantasy. So now I'm wondering what you guys think. Should these DLCs be funded by microtransactions? Would you guys be willing to spend money on shaders and ships and whatever else comes from the Eververse in lieu of getting these DLCs for free? Or do you prefer the paid DLC structure and not have microtransactions in the game? I think what we're actually going to find is that we have paid DLCs and we have microtransactions at the same time. Hopefully what that means is that we'll get DLCs, and in between we'll get live team events that are actually funded by those microtransactions. But it does seem like a lot to pay for, right? Is not only are we funding the DLC out of pocket, but then we're also buying the microtransactions to fund the live team. It seems like they're double dipping a little bit to me. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Obviously, I'm very excited that in the future of Destiny 2, it looks like they're going to support that game and add content to it very quickly. I don't really want them to release the Osiris DLC before Christmas because I think that could turn some gamers off, although it would be very exciting in the lead up to Christmas to have something very, very new and very exciting to talk to. So I'll be honest with you, I'm a little torn on that. But I'd also like to know what you guys have to say about this. Do you guys support the fact that there are going to be paid DLCs for Destiny 2? Would you prefer if they were paid by microtransactions? Or do you like that there is going to be paid DLCs and you'd like to see the removal of microtransactions in Destiny 2? It's kind of a complicated issue in my opinion, and I'm really looking forward to reading the comments today and seeing where you guys land on these issues. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.